Test, test. Welcome everyone in Frankfurt, home of OKTAGON, on the press conference before OKTAGON 76 here in Festhalle. It will be a great event ahead of us. Again, we'll have a press conference divided on two parts, preliminary cards and the main card. We'll start with the prelims cards. And the first questions, go ahead.
I would start with a question for the promoters, because this place is where it all started for you in Germany. What makes Frankfurt such a special place for you as a promoter, for you personally? You're wearing a Pick Dame shirt. Is it the nightlife? What do you think about Frankfurt in general?
Definitely Frankfurt, we call it like home of OKTAGON. It's like really not just the phrase, but we really feel like that. And when we came here first time with Andre, we flew our most dangerous flight together on our small plane. We survived, landed here, and guys here from MMA Spirit, including Niels, Max, Christian, Stefan, they take care about us and show us their world in a way that we feel immediately like at home. And including the showing nightlife, restaurants, their gym, everything. And they invite us here with the open hands, and they say, guys, come here, and if you do the tournaments here, it will work well, and we are sure that this could be a big together if we can build up the MMA scene in Germany together in a great way. And that happened. So then we filmed a reality TV show, OKTAGON Challenge, German version, just close by in Ditzenbach. It was absolutely unbelievable, 1 month of filming during the COVID and everything. So it's very special what we experienced here. And we are very grateful to the city and fans of Frankfurt, especially for the Festhalle. First event here, sold out. It was just fun from day one.
Ja, welcome back home then. Und willkommen bei OKTAGON. Raul Lemberanski, da geht die erste Frage hin. Du hast vor 3 Jahren ein Video gepostet aus der Festhalle. Hier werde ich auch mal kämpfen. Jetzt bist du hier. Wie ist das Gefühl? Wie sind die ersten Eindrücke? Ja, was sind deine Erwartungen?
Question for Lemberanski. You're here fighting here, so what are your expectations?
Ja, es ist sehr professionell. Ich fühle mich sehr wohl hier. Es ist wie als wäre ich
Well,
hier gewesen.
I feel professional, the organizing is very professional, and I feel great and at home. Frankfurt is my hometown. We worked hard for this, and that's what me and the others will show, and that's why we're here.
Wie gehst du damit um? Kannst du es irgendwo nachvollziehen?
Your opponent didn't make weight. So much for professionality. Do you understand? And does it change things? Well, what's important for me is that I made weight, and I'm the pro fighter. He didn't, and that's not going to help him tomorrow, and that's it.
Das war dein zweiter Kampf bei OKTAGON. Beim ersten Mal war es Catchweight. Du hast auch das Gewicht nicht geschafft. Woran
This is your second fight in OKTAGON. The first time it was catchweight fight. You didn't make weight then either. So is it related, Jose?
Good afternoon, guys. Yes, it's my second fight in OKTAGON. The first fight was no good for me, but short notice. This opportunity, I want to apologize my opponent for the weight. Now happened with me in the last night, but I'm here to fight tomorrow.
Okay, dann Frage an Fedor. Fedor, du kommst aus einer knappen
Question for Fedor.
Niederlage gegen Bogdanovic. Was hat das mit dir im Nachgang gemacht? Es war deine erste Niederlage in der Karriere und ja, viele würden sagen, es hätte auch in deine Richtung gewertet werden können.
What happened when you lost against Bogdanovic? It was your first loss in your career, so how did you feel? I saw the fight twice, or many times, and in my eyes, I wasn't the one to lose. Of course, I was mad about it. And before that, I thought I would never let the referees decide. I thought I would finish him, but that didn't happen, unfortunately. Now you're facing a very different opponent. He's got very strong shots, strong arms. So your last opponent was more of a grappler. Did you prepare differently for this fight? Well, yeah, I can't underestimate him. I take him 100% seriously. He prepped well, and so did I. I know what I can do tomorrow in the cage, and I know what I am capable of. I've improved in many areas, and I relearned a lot of things, and tomorrow you'll see a lot.
Es ist ein dritter Profikampf in diesem Jahr.
Now, question for Alina Daleslan. This is your third pro fight this year, but your first pro fight or your first pro fight per se, because you quit your regular job. You don't have to switch between having a regular job and MMA. So how do you feel now? It's way better, of course. I have more time to focus on training. As far as training itself, not much has changed because I did train a lot before, but I had to keep running in between my laptop and the gym. Your current opponent, Ricci, is very different from your previous one. So what can we expect from you showing us what you can do against a different opponent? I'm very curious about her. I've seen her fights, and she puts on a great show. So I'm excited, and it'll be a little bit of a surprise. Question for Belogrevich. This is also your first time in the octagon, so how are you feeling? You didn't make the weight in the morning, so how are you feeling in octagon? As I've said, this feels like a very professional organization. And yes, I missed the call time. I didn't make weight, but then I was able to sweat more out. And of course, this is my second fight in the middleweight category. And I'm glad that my opponent accepted this fight, even though I was over by 200 grams. I haven't been to a press conference like this, so first impressions are great. So what can we expect from you tomorrow? Well, I come from a very low class, and I will never forget where I come from. Another question for Kevin and Kevin. What made you accept this fight on short notice? Again, you said you wanted to prep, so why did you switch up like this? Well, Frankfurt is a great place. Festhalle is a great arena. And this is something that I wanted to experience. I wouldn't have accepted if I wasn't sure that I could win. And I did say I was done taking short notice fights, but the conditions and the context was just such that I had to accept. I'm coming for the win. So I was sure I could win, and that's why I accepted. So what motivated you accepting the fight with Hafeni? What makes you sure you can win? I don't know if you remember, but 12 months ago, we spoke about this once before. We were talking about how this matchup could be great. And back then, a few months ago, a part of the fighters kind of had to be taken off the card, and Hafeni is good at doing well what I can do well, so I think we'll both give our all tomorrow, and I'm expecting this to be very interesting tomorrow, and I will definitely give it my all that we've been working on for the last few years. And so far, or for now, it's my last contracted fight, so I want to make a good impression tomorrow. And of course, I want to fulfill my contract. Question for Hafeni Nafuka. What made you accept the matchup, Kevin? Because you are quite on friendly terms. Yeah, somebody else had to drop out. Kevin said that he could face off against me on short notice, and I said, yeah, let's do it, because he's a good opponent to have. Did you expect for your opponent to drop out? No, you'd never expect that, but I don't want to talk about that loser anymore. Question for Alina Daleslan. You started on the prelims, but now you've made it to the main card. So how are you feeling about this progress? This is your first pro year, and you've made the main card. Yeah, we talked about it just recently. It's so great about, like, I was the first on the card in Stuttgart, and now I'm on the main card, and that's amazing. Thank you, Octagon. Thank you for putting me so high up on the fight card. You do it well, and I'm happy about tomorrow. Question for Hafeni, Nafuka, and Kevin. Both of you are grapplers, so what do you want to show tomorrow in the cage?
Blinzel nicht. Auf jeden Fall bei dem Kampf. Ich denke, wir können spannende Scrambles erwarten.
Well,
Was ganz anderes, was wir so
I'm
noch nicht gesehen haben.
not gonna hesitate. I think it's gonna be a very interesting fight, something you haven't seen, because we'll all give our 100%.
Wir sind beide Kämpfer, die mit viel Herz kämpfen.
For both of us, tomorrow is going to be a very risky situation, but we're both giving it our hearts, and it's going to be interesting. We're both big risk takers. We're both good grapplers, so I think we're gonna deliver some scrambles. We'll see.
Frage an Raul. Raul, das ist deine Premiere bei OKTAGON.
Question for Raul. Raul, this is your first fight in the Octagon cage. How did you decide, or why did you decide, for such an experienced opponent in your first fight? Well, the fans and everybody wants to see interesting matches. And I was never gonna accept somebody or a fight that wouldn't be that. I'm gonna dominate tomorrow, and it's gonna be a very Raul performance, just like you know me. And then I think everybody in Germany will shut up, and I won't have to prove myself anymore.
David Hosek, you recently took on highly touted Jamie Cordero. What did you take from that fight that you're going to bring into this fight?
Nevím,
I don't
co mám
know.
odpovědět.
I don't know what to
Vzal jsem
say.
prostě zkušenosti, byl to
I just
pro mě super boj.
took the experience that I got. It was a great fight with a really good opponent, and I'm glad about it. I would love a rematch with Cordero anytime in the future, and I'm glad for the experience that I got.
Question for Clara. Everyone's talking about Elena de Laslan's rise, which has been amazing, but why do you feel that you'll be able to potentially steal some hype and become a star yourself?
Hello. Je suis très contente de revenir demain dans l'Octagone. Je remercie déjà l'Octagone de m'offrir cette chance et très contente aussi de combattre face à Alina. Demain, il se passera la guerre qu'on devra produire, donc on verra par la suite.
First of all, I am really happy to be back here. Thank you for Octagon for this opportunity. And tomorrow we will make the war what we want to see.
Frage an Hafeni. Du hast jetzt sehr viel
A
Erfahrung.
question for Hafeni. You already have plenty of experience here in Octagon. You fought many strong opponents. And we saw you fighting Staines and Buchinger. So, how do you rate your opponent, Enz? He's a strong opponent, but compared to the others, well, I think he's similar to the rest. I can't really say that he's bad or worse compared to the others. He's at the same level.
You've already announced the Düsseldorf event for next year. What can German fans expect for next year, 2026, potentially a big year for Octagon in Germany?
Next year, as you know, we will be celebrating 10th anniversary, and we want to stretch it through the whole year. Of course, with one or two events, which will be like the main points, where we really celebrate together what we achieved and all the sports, all the athletes that were part of our journey. So it was a very special year, actually. And the Germany is one of our main markets. So we are preparing great stuff, which unfortunately we cannot now announce. But there will be new cities. Which we'll announce quite soon, actually, and I think you will be happy with it. So we will be conquering more and more new territories in Germany.
My question, I've only got one, is for the promoters. You're big believers in women's MMA. We've seen some great storylines come to the forefront over the last couple of years. You just signed Neve Kinahan, who produced on her debut, Alina Dalasan. Where do you think you can take women's MMA in Europe?
I'm not sure if I get the question. Where do we think?
Where do you think you can take? What heights do you think women's MMA in Europe can reach on the back of yous?
It's a hard question. I don't know if I get it right, but I think it's same like we are. If I'm right, we are the only promotion. We are the few in the world which has the main event, the female fights. You know, so it shows the importance that we are giving to female fighting in our promotion. It's just not that many female fighters as men, but we see it equal, like really. And we will see tomorrow, I'm sure, that it will be a great fight. People will be entertained, and one of those will be winner, but it will be crazy, I'm sure.
Just one for Alina. It was brought up there earlier that you've just turned professional in MMA, and I just want to hear more. I'm intrigued to hear more about what you were doing in that job and how difficult it was to balance a job with MMA at the same time.
Also, als ich zu den Profis gewechselt habe, habe ich noch circa 3 Monate.
When I turned pro, I still worked for about 3 more months. I could train twice a day, but it was very, very difficult. The regeneration was very difficult. Sleeping was bad. In general, I just couldn't recover that quickly, and I couldn't focus on MMA 100%. I was managing to do well at work and at MMA, but didn't have enough time to recover. Right now, I have much more time for MMA, and I think this was a 100% correct decision by me, because for me, MMA is the most serious thing in my life, and I see a huge future in MMA. So it was just a question of time when I stopped working. I thought it would come later, but because I'm quite active, I have quite a lot of fights, and I'm trying to fight as much as possible, and I'm trying to develop, so I think it was a good decision on my part.
Anybody else? If not, then we will wrap the first part, and we will join the main card, and then we will do the Staredowns in the end. So nobody else, so we'll switch the fighters, give us 3 minutes, and we'll be back. Thank you.
OKTAGON returns to the iconic Festhalle for another incredible tournament and featuring a true legend of Frankfurt. Daniel Weichel, one of the most respected fighters from Europe, returns to the cage after a 2-year hiatus. The former world number 8 and champion of the M1 and Bellator organizations has almost 60 fights under his belt and the scalps of the world's elite fighters in his collection. He'll face the challenge of a lifetime in the form of French finisher Abu Tunkara, who already proved he has no respect for legends in his fight against Buchinger. One fight in the OKTAGON cage was all it took to turn Neanderthal Vosgrone into a European star. One of the greatest grapplers in the world will now be put to the test by the dangerous Brazilian warrior, Fabio Moraes, a black belt in BJJ who boasts 6 KOs on his record. 2-time European champion Korkmaz has already faced Liverpool Shamrock and submitted legendary Finnish warrior Makwan Amirkhani. Now he'll face off against the French submission master, David Kroll, who always looks to finish his fights before the limit. Showman Dennis Frimpong continues to earn respect thanks to a 4-fight win streak, including a victory over Topalai. He'll battle it out in the cage against Peter Gabal, who's in the form of his life and also riding on a 5-fight win streak. You can also look forward to seeing the undefeated princess of German MMA, Alina Dalasan, in a brutal shootout against the ferocious Clara Ricciganulu. Ladies and gentlemen, this is OKTAGON 76, Weichel versus Tunkara. Purchase the pay-per-view and be transported to a front row seat for the entire tournament on oktagon.tv. world champions and their emotional stories, an electric atmosphere, an unforgettable experience. OKTAGON MMA.
Second part of the press conference with the main card, so feel free to place your first question.
Ja, Frage an Freddy.
A question for Freddy.
Enorm viel Gewicht verloren in der Weltcard. Wie geht's dir jetzt gerade?
You really lost a lot of weight, so how do you feel right now? Well, I think that everybody's gone through this. Everybody's lost some weight in their lifetime, so it's nothing out of the ordinary. I feel fine. I feel good.
In Prag konntest du nicht kämpfen. Jetzt
You couldn't fight in Prague, and this is going to be your second fight in OKTAGON. And you will be fighting here in Frankfurt in Festhalle. How much are you looking forward to that, being there in that cage tomorrow? I'm looking forward to it. I'm so excited, man, especially about fighting back in Germany. It's going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to it. And then I also get to fight in Cologne, and I'm looking forward to that too. A question for Daniel. Daniel, this is your first fight after 2 years. And you're back in Frankfurt. So how do you feel? What are your feelings right now? And it's been about, well, it's 24 hours before the fight, so how do you feel? I feel amazing. I'm really looking forward to it. And in the last few weeks of training, I really enjoyed them. Even before, of course, I used to fight in MMA. I was preparing for my fights, that was the same. But I gotta say, this time for Frankfurt, it was completely different, the entire preparation. How are you going to spend the last hours before the fight tomorrow? Well, not many changes are going to take place. I'll be together with my team. And the day will be pretty calm. I'll relax a little bit, do some training in the afternoon, and then, as the evening is about to culminate, I'll just get to the cage.
Jakub von MMA ohne Maske. Erste Frage an Daniel Weichel. Daniel, du bist eine absolute
My first question is for Daniel Weichel. Daniel, you're an absolute legend in German MMA, so what is it like for you after a career like you've had, fighting in front of the home audience for the first time? It's like a little present for me. I feel like somebody gifted me this opportunity. And, you know, most of my fights were abroad. So the atmosphere wasn't the same, or, you know, here in Frankfurt, it's probably going to be much, much better. For example, when I fought in the USA, I was quite far away from home, but here, my friends are here, my family's here. And just, you know, the experience, being able to experience this is amazing. I love MMA. I love it so much. It's a passion of mine, just being able to experience something like this. That's amazing. Thank you for coming back, Daniel. A question for Sebastian. Welcome to OKTAGON, first of all. And could you describe to us, what was your reaction like when OKTAGON called you, when the promoters called you, and they gave you a fight against Tamerlan Dulatov? Hey, I felt amazing. It's a great opportunity for me. I get to show what's inside me, what I can do. Of course, I read all the comments. They were quite negative against me. But, you know, so many people said that I'll fail. There were also quite positive comments on the web. For example, I had different fights, and I knew I could win, and, you know, the same is going to happen here in OKTAGON. And what can we expect from you tomorrow in the cage? As I said, in the evening I heard that I was about to fight, and I really had to lose a lot of weight. I was cutting a lot of weight. So I was making weight actually on my way here, but right now I feel fine. I feel okay. I have some time to relax, and tomorrow I'll just give my all, my 100%. I have another question. It was quite a tough week for you. First of all, you didn't have a fighter, and now it's short notice. So could you just tell us something about the background of all of it? And also, why aren't you fighting the fighter you're supposed to fight? Well, he was acting as if Octagon had done him wrong, but that was not the case. He asked his manager, kind of stupidly, if he could fight me, and I said yeah. But for some reason, he said, we need to change the weight category, and I don't understand why he did that, because the contract's at 77 kilos. That's why I decided to change the weight. So we thought, okay, let's do 81. And then a week before the fight, he decided not to fight. He chickened out. But then Ondřej, Pavol, and the matchmaker, they did their best to get me an opponent. So thank you so much for that. Also, thank you to my current opponent. Yesterday, I could eat a pizza because I thought I won't be able to fight. But thank you so much, Sebastian, for actually coming here and taking that fight. And thank you, Octagon, for doing your best to be able to put on this fight tomorrow. The people who saw Sebastian fight, you know that Sebastian can be very dangerous. He's very good at striking. And I'm well prepared for that. My preparation, my camp was absolutely amazing, so it would be sad if I couldn't fight. A question for Attila Korkmaz. You had some very near losses, so what can we expect from you right now? Are you expecting a near win, or is there something else? It will be very short, and it will be a masterpiece. Alan Omar, that's the guy you were supposed to fight, and now you have a short notice replacement, so what do you think about that? Well, I've known him since 2018. We were supposed to be on the same fight card somewhere in Belgium. He's an experienced fighter. He's a very special style. I don't think it would be a boring fight. He also has good finishes. I think he has 10 submissions on his record. And he's a black belt, but he's also really good at striking. He's very good at striking, I gotta tell you that. So I'll be focusing very much. I was preparing for two completely different opponents, and that's really tough when you want to get a very nice finish, so it makes it quite more difficult, but you should be looking forward to tomorrow. What do you think about Attila? And what were you thinking about when you took the fight?
Okay, so hello everyone, hello Octagon. Thank you for having me. What did I think when I took the fight? Nothing really. I mean, it's just a fight, just one more. I thought that's a good opponent. Attila, like he said, we shared a card in 2018. I didn't remember the date, but it was in European Beatdown. And I already noticed that he was a great fighter. So, like he said, I think it's going to be an interesting fight. There's going to be fireworks. And like I said previously, I prepared myself to submit him. Anything can happen in an MMA fight, we know that. So let's see what happens tomorrow. And I know I'll win some fans tomorrow.
Danke. Dann Frage an Dennis Fumpong.
Question for Dennis Rimpong. You are wearing an Octagon shirt. Are you feeling like this is a personal fight against Gabal? Because we saw some ping pong in. So, is there anything personal that you have against him?
For me, it's never really personal, it's just business. But when you start bringing people's mums into trash talk and conversations, after initially agreeing that, oh, we won't cross any lines, then it becomes a problem. I understand I've crossed lines in the past before, but I accept that and I've apologized for those things. If your aim's that bad at tomorrow night, you're going to have a big problem. What are you hitting Attila for, bro? He's not done anything to you.
Bro, I'm not fighting you. What's going on?
You all have bad aim. You all have bad aim. But listen, at the end of the day, yeah, he can have all the gimmicks he wants, but I'm going to play ping pong with his chin tomorrow. So.
Thank you. Eine letzte Frage von mir an Daniel Weichel. Du hast gerade schon ein bisschen über Frankfurt
Question for
gesprochen,
Daniel
dass du jetzt nach
Weichel.
Frankfurt zurückkehrst. Was erwartest du morgen, wenn du morgen einläufst und du heute Abend so im Bett liegst? Was stellst du dir vor, was morgen Abend passiert, wenn du in die Festhalle reinläufst?
When you're falling asleep tonight, what are you going to be thinking about?
Anfang bis Ende.
I think I'll
Immer schon bei den
just be
Frankfurt-Events.
having goosebumps from
wenn ich mit Christian
start to
oder mit
finish. This
eingelaufen
is
bin,
how
die
it
Ecke
always
gemacht hab.
is, but this is also Frankfurt.
Einfach
This
der
is a
Wahnsinn
matter of
gewesen.
heart for me. And when Eckerlin fought
jeden
in
Schritt
Frankfurt,
morgen
it really gave me
genießen
goosebumps. It was
und zu
incredible, and I'm going to be enjoying every step tomorrow.
Marvin Rishi Krishn vom Spiegel. Frage an Daniel, Frederik und Tamerlan.
Question
Octagon
for
bemüht sich
Daniel, Frederick,
aktiv
and
darum,
Tamerlan.
sich stärker im Mainstream zu etablieren, sich so zu
Octagon
vermarkten, dass
is
ein
trying
Publikum aus der
to get into the
Mehrheitsgesellschaft sich
mainstream
für MMA
media.
interessiert.
And
Frage
we
an
know
euch,
that
was
Octagon's
könnt ihr
trying
als
to get the
Profis dazu
majority
beitragen?
viewers and more fans. So as pros, what can you do to help that?
Ich muss ja sagen, ich komme aus einer Zeit,
Well, I have
der
to say
MMA
that I
überhaupt
come from a
kein Begriff
time
war
when
in
MMA
Deutschland.
in
Und
Germany
für mich
wasn't
war das immer so ein
known at
bisschen,
all.
ich wollte
It
die
was not a
Leidenschaft, die
term
ich für diesen
people
Sport
recognized.
habe,
And for me, it's
wollte ich
always been
erklären,
like,
wollte
I
ich
wanted to do
weitergeben,
this
was mich
because
an
I
diesem
love
Sport
doing
fasziniert.
this.
Es hat
I
angefangen
wanted
bei
to
meinen
keep
Eltern, die
telling
ich quasi
people
überzeugen
what
musste,
fascinates me
dass
about this
ich,
sport from the very
MMA
beginning.
machen möchte.
Even my parents
Und
took some
die Kreise sind
convincing
aber
when I
immer-
wanted to start
immer
doing
größer
MMA.
geworden, ja. Und ich habe einfach gemerkt,
Well,
wie schön
all
es
in
ist, wenn
all,
Menschen
these circles
verstehen,
of MMA
was
people,
hinter
they're
diesem
becoming
Sport
bigger
steckt
and
und
bigger.
welche-
And I started noticing gradually
Energie man
how
aufbringen
amazing
muss,
it is
auf so
when
einem
people
Event
realize
auf
what's so
diesem
incredible
Level
about
zu
this
kämpfen,
sport.
welche Vorbereitung, welche Opfer man
What
bringen
it,
muss.
how incredible it
Und
is when they come
was
on
ich
board,
sehe,
when they
dass Octagon
realize
das
what the
so
preparation
darstellt
takes
und
for a
zeigt,
fight.
dass
And I
Menschen die
know that
Geschichte der Leute
Octagon
verstehen.
shows
Und ich
MMA
glaube, das ist
in
was
this
Schönes,
light.
was man
It
machen
shows
kann
the
als Athlet,
sport in a way that
seine
makes them
eigene Geschichte
understand the
zu
story
erzählen,
behind
mit
the
seinen
fighter,
Höhen, Tiefen,
behind the
Herausforderungen
preparation, behind
in
the fight.
Verbindung einfach mit diesem Sport.
And it lets us explain what the sports mean to us.
Ja, also ich denke auch, wie Daniel gemeint hatte,
Well,
vor allem,
As
wenn man
Daniel said, I
zurückblickt,
also
ja,
think
nach vor
that
ein paar
when you
Jahren,
look around,
ja, wäre das so
look
undenkbar
around at the
gewesen,
history
dass,
of MMA,
Leute, die jetzt nicht
a
richtig
few
tief
years
im
ago,
Kampfsport sind,
this wouldn't have been
MMA überhaupt
happening.
kennen und dann, ja, dass da
What's
jetzt so eine
happening right
große
now would have been
Fanbase ist und,
unimaginable a few
ja,
years
so
back.
Events,
So many people
diese
have
jetzt hier,
become excited
ja, ist
about
auf
this
jeden Fall
sport. So many
unglaublich
people
und,
have done a
ja,
deep
ist
dive,
natürlich auch
become
krass,
hardcore
dass man,
fans,
ja, dabei sein kann.
joined MMA, and I think it's
Deswegen hat
incredible
sich auf
what
jeden Fall
they've
schon sehr viel
managed to
getan.
do.
Und ich denke jetzt, ne,
I think we
dadurch,
did
dass
our
Octagon das
best.
jetzt schon
I
so
think we
in den,
keep doing
Mainstream
what we
gebracht hat,
can
ist es
to
ja
help
auch
that.
die,
And I
sag
think
mal,
it's
die
great that
Mainstream-Medien,
Octagon brought the sport
so,
into the
allen voran
mainstream
RTL
and
und so ja
mainstream
auch jetzt,
media, of
sehr
course.
interessiert und ich denke,
Of course,
dann,
RTL finds us interesting, and thanks to RTL, we keep growing. So
Ich will mich
tomorrow
kurz
it's going to be
halten. Ich
explosive.
finde, jemand wie Daniel Weichel hat schon seit Beginn
This
seiner
has been
Karriere
said
eine
by
so Prämie
Daniel.
verdient wie Octagon.
But
Er hat halt immer im Ausland gekämpft. Ich glaube, die
Daniel
letzten
is the
10 Jahre hat er nur
one
im
who
Ausland
made
gekämpft und aufgrund dessen bin ich froh,
MMA
dass
become
Octagon hier ist
a
und jemand wie
term
ihm, der
in
sein
Germany.
halbes Leben gekämpft
He
hat
was
und
here at the birth of
eine
it,
Riesenanerkennung,
and that's
riesen
why
Respekt
I'm
verdient
glad
hat,
that
die ihm auch
Octagon's here
gibt
in
jetzt.
Germany and that
Octagon wird in
Daniel could
Deutschland
make a
jetzt
return. I
Octagon
respect
haben wir
him.
gesehen, wir wissen, warum es
he was able to come back in Germany after he promoted MMA abroad. And I think a lot of people in Germany are gonna at least watch the tournament or come in person. And me and Frederick and young fighters were important as well. Not to say that Daniel's old, but it's such a great mix of people that we have here. It's so sellable. And the mix of different backgrounds, fighters, is great. I think what OKTAGON's doing, they're doing it great. In the last few fights in Frankfurt, we saw that they've always managed to sell out the arena. So it's been incredible.
Both Dennis and Peter. I was going to ask, as you said, Dennis, is just business for you, then Peter shoots a ping pong ball at you. But at the end of the day, it's time. You just want to get in the cage at this point, right?
I've wanted to fight him for a couple of years, to be honest. He spent a lot of time running, so I'm glad that OKTAGON made him sign the contract now. And like I said, he can have all the gimmicks he wants. At the end of the day, tomorrow, that cage doors are going to close. It's going to be me, him, and a referee, and the referee's going to be pulling me off him. So,
Peter, how do you respond? He says you've been avoiding this fight for a period of time now.
I heard right now for the first time that he wanted to fight with me a few years ago, because I didn't know him a few years ago. So I will fight him tomorrow. I saw him in the München. He fought with what was your opponent? Ariane Topolai. And after that fight, Dennis is ranked right now, and I want his place. So that's it. I will beat him tomorrow.
Question for Fabio. A lot has been talked about Frederick, obviously, viral sensation. He has his next fight date set already. Did you feel a little disrespected by that, and why do you think you have a chance to beat him? A lot has been talked about Frederick, viral sensation. He already has his next fight set. Why do you feel that you can beat him, and do you feel disrespected by that?
Eu acho que, no meu ponto de vista, ninguém é imbatível, né? Todo mundo tem a primeira vez, eu acho que vai ser a primeira vez dele amanhã. E eu vim para vencer.
Would you like me to translate? I think I think no one is unbeatable, and he's gonna have his first loss, and I will win against him tomorrow.
Frage an Tamerlan.
Question for Tamerlan.
Jeder redet über deinen Bruder natürlich in der UFC, krasse Knockout.
Everybody's talking about your brother who's made it to the UFC. That's clear. He's well known for that. But why should people start talking about you more and more? Well, I'm really glad when people mention my brother's name, and I don't want to replace him. My brother earned his fame. He worked hard, and it's all well deserved. So why should people talk about me now? Well, you'll see tomorrow after my fight. I don't have to say anything. I'll just show you. I think I'll be able to do that. And in the future, there are some tournaments, for example, Düsseldorf, that interest me. So I hope that I'll be able to score a good opponent for those. And I hope that I'll prove that I have a rightful place on those cards and to fight against somebody who's ranked well. So I'll show you what I've got tomorrow in the cage.
Wie lang geht dieser Kampf, denkst du?
You're known for your fast finishes, so what's your plan for tomorrow? I don't want to make any predictions. I wouldn't dare to do that. I'm ready for everything, and I don't mean to underestimate or talk crap about anybody. Well, I guess I'm ready to prove my worth tomorrow. I'll be able to wrestle, I can strike, I can grapple. I'm ready for anything. Take me to the ground, whatever. I'm just going in. I'm all in, and I hope and I believe that I'll win.
Question for Abdu. Everyone's talking about the return of Daniel Weichel, but why do you feel like you could steal the shine from this and make your name potentially off a legend in his hometown?
First of all, hey everybody, thank you OKTAGON. For me, it's the best organization in Europe. So I'm here to fight a man who is from here, and he's your legend. I respect him a lot because he's a very good fighter. But I'm here, and the goal is to beat him, and I will do my job. And all respect to him because he is a very good fighter and your legend. So yeah, thank you.
Question for Dennis. Will there be any ping pong played between you two boys on Sunday morning?
The only ping pong I'm playing is his head all around that canvas. He knows that. He's going to come try and hug my legs. He's not going to be playing any ping pong. He can't even play ping pong. I'm pretty good.
Now, a question for the promoters. If Dennis does win on Saturday, he'll be on a 5-fight win streak. He wants the title shot. And what more would he have to do to put himself in that position to get that opportunity?
He need to beat some other fighters which are in front of him in the rank. So I think it's fair enough because there's still some in front of him. And I believe like Dennis is growing with us. Yeah, once he came to OKTAGON in Slovakia, he was like only striker, I would say. I believe like he will agree because his ground was not that good, but we can see him growing every tournament, even between the tournaments. I can still see what he's putting on the social. So I believe he can be the champion maybe. But tomorrow he's got some job from Czech Republic, and then definitely Attila can be the one or any other guys in front of him. But definitely not that much. There could be like 2, maximum 3 fights. We'll see.
Question for Dennis. Dennis, your good friend Shamrock just made it to the UFC. I just wanted to ask you, does that provide you with any extra motivation or drive knowing that you've shared a card with Shem and now he's made it to the UFC?
Yeah, obviously I'm happy for him. That was his goal. I have very different goals. He's cleared the way for me now to not have any clashes with him in the rankings, like Andre said. You know, so I think the title reign is wide open. There is a few names ahead of me. I don't think there's any names ahead of me that I can't beat. But yeah, like Andre said, I've got a job to do tomorrow, and I'm going to do that job, and then we can have that conversation.
And those goals are the belt?
There shouldn't be any other goal, really, if you're in a promotion other than the belt, and defending the belt and becoming a long-standing champion, not just getting the belt. Getting the belt's the start of the journey, I think. It's when you have the belt and you have the target on your back and everyone's looking at you, because you've got 9 guys behind you looking at you, plus the rest. So that's when the journey really starts and the hard work really begins. But at that point, I'll be happy because then I don't have to call people out. Everyone's going to be calling me out. So.
And just one more for yourself and Peter. When you look into your opponent's eyes, tell me, what do you see?
I just see a dead man tomorrow. That's all I see when I look in his eyes.
This guy is nervous. I can feel that. You could feel that in the morning on the weigh-in. So tomorrow I will go in the cage and I will knock him out. So that's it. I'm not afraid of this guy.
I sure hope you're not afraid of me because you signed a contract, but no one's ever knocked me out. So what makes you think you're going to knock me out?
You had a fight with Gavin. You got knocked down. And it's amateur fighter. So when you feel my power tomorrow, you will go to sleep.
If your aim's as bad as it was with those ping pong balls, you're not going to land any of that power. So
I have one more try here.
Good, throw it over because I need them.
Maybe I will hit Vosgoron again. So, but I will try. No.
Man, why me? Who wants to fight? Who's trying to mess with me?
Yeah, my punches aim better than this, and you will feel it tomorrow.
Okay, that's it. So we will do the Staredowns now. So give us 2-3 minutes. We will clean the tables and.
So time for the final Staredowns before tomorrow night and before we enter the iconic Festhalle for the 5th time in OKTAGON's history. Kicking off the card, our YouTube free prelim and middleweight contest between these guys. 19 victories, 18 finish. Welcome first to the stage, David Spartan Hošek. Next up, welcome Georg Bilogrevich. Hošek versus Bilogrevich kicking off the card tomorrow night, OKTAGON 76. From middleweights, we move to bantamweights. A 38-fight veteran takes on an undefeated prospect from Germany. Welcome first, the mercenary, Jose Zaraeus. And now making his OKTAGON debut, representing MMA Spirit, Raul Lebaransky. This goes down in the bantamweight division. Lebaransky versus Zaraus. What a night, what a set of fights. Next we have a catchweight bout set at 81 kilos. The fight that almost wasn't. One man stepping in on 24 hours notice. Let's welcome him now, fighting out of Austria, Sebastian Hertenleyen. And now his opponent, the most wanted, Tamerlan Dulatov. Hertenleyen versus Dulatov tomorrow night. The fights keep coming. This is a German versus German, two prospects going at it at 74 kilo catchweight. Welcome now, Kevin Violence. And his opponent, the Namibian Nightmare, Hafeni Nafuka. What a fight. Hafeni Nafuka versus Kevin Ends. We jump back to the lightweight division. Two fighters hungry to get back in the win column in Octagon. Welcome first, the Mace, Petro Buzdugan. Versus from MMA Spirit, Fedor Duric. This goes down tomorrow night inside the Octagon cage. Duric versus Buzdugan. There we go. Next up, the ladies take center stage. Both have made history in Octagon already. Both won all their victories by way of finish, but only one can leave victorious tomorrow night. Welcome back to Octagon, Clara Ricci Ganulu. And her opponent, Alina Iron Fist Dalaslan. Give it up one more time for these ladies. Ricci Ganulu versus Dalaslan. Next up, this lightweight contest has already given us drama at the weigh-ins. It's given us ping pong inside the press conference. Let's welcome PIMP Peter Gabal versus Dennis the Menace Frimpong. Tomorrow they swap ping pong paddles for 4-ounce gloves. Peter Gabal versus Dennis Frimpong. Next up we have an Octagon veteran versus a debutant. Welcome first from France by way of Mexico, David Kroll. Taking on the fearless Attila Korkmaz. Sunglasses and sombreros. Give it one more time. Korkmaz versus Kroll. What else can happen at these weigh-ins? Next up, we have one of the most anticipated returns to the cage. A viral sensation versus a Brazilian finisher. Welcome first, Fabio Marias. Taking on the Neanderthal, Frederick Vosgroni. Brazil versus Germany, Neanderthal Vosgroni versus Marias. And then one last piece of business in the historic Festhalle will be our main event that puts France against Germany and a return into action and into Frankfurt for one man. Let's welcome first his opponent, Abu Tunkara. Versus the one, the only Daniel Weichel. That is our main event. Tunkara versus Weichel goes down tomorrow night here in Frankfurt. There you go, brother. Nice. The party continues tomorrow night in the Festhalle. Join us live for OKTAGON 76.
OKTAGON returns to the iconic Festhalle for another incredible tournament and featuring a true legend of Frankfurt. Daniel Weichel, one of the most respected fighters from Europe, returns to the cage after a 2-year hiatus. The former world number 8 and champion of the M1 and Bellator organizations has almost 60 fights under his belt and the scalps of the world's elite fighters in his collection. He'll face the challenge of a lifetime in the form of French finisher Abu Tunkara, who already proved he has no respect for legends in his fight against Buchinger. One fight in the OKTAGON cage was all it took to turn Neanderthal Vosgroni into a European star. One of the greatest grapplers in the world will now be put to the test by the dangerous Brazilian warrior, Fabio Marias, a black belt in BJJ who boasts 6 KOs on his record. Two-time European champion Korkmaz has already faced Liverpool Shamrock and submitted legendary Finnish warrior Makwan Amikani. Now he'll face off against the French submission master, David Kroll, who always looks to finish his fights before the limit. Showman Dennis Frimpong continues to earn respect thanks to a 4-fight win streak, including a victory over Topalai. He'll battle it out in the cage against Peter Gabal, who's in the form of his life and also riding on a 5-fight win streak. You can also look forward to seeing the undefeated princess of German MMA, Alina Dalaslan, in a brutal shootout against the ferocious Clara Ricicanulu. Ladies and gentlemen, this is OKTAGON 76, Weichel versus Tunkara. Purchase the pay-per-view and be transported to a front row seat for the entire tournament on OKTAGON.tv.